Welcome to Friday at 4 by Q.A.C. team with Charles Luttrell and Steve Kent.
Good afternoon, Steve. Welcome to Friday at 4.
Well, Thank you, Chuck. It's been a great week. I'm so happy to be here.
That's great. It's been a busy, busy week.
It has, as the saying goes, it's better to be busy than not busy.
Busy is
So
good.
that's a good thing.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So let's go ahead and get
Yep.
started. Introduce ourselves. Charles Luttrell with Q.A.C. team here. And I'm here with Steve.
Thank you. It's Steve Kent from Steve Kent Financial Services.
All right. So what you got for me today?
So I guess as a continuation to what we talked about last week, we were kicking around what does it take or what are some of the things to look at if you were going to start a business for yourself. Now, whether that be full time, part time, doesn't matter. There are certain things that you need to know.
Yeah.
And the reason for me personally, why I'm so enthused about doing this is when I left corporate in 2012, where they do everything for you. You just show up, you do your job, you get a paycheck, you go home, wash, rinse,
Yeah.
repeat.
Right.
But when I opened up my own business in January of 13, I knew zero, or as I like to say, less than zero about opening up a business. And because I did not understand what I was doing, what questions to ask, who to talk to, and all those things that you really should know before you put your time and money on the line, it did not work well for me. And again, let me repeat that. It did not work well for me. But that's why I am here with you talking about some basics so we can help other people to not make the same mistakes I did.
Yeah. You can say we. Yeah.
We
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 made those mistakes.
yeah, we all make mistakes.
We all make mistakes.
Yeah, the hope though, well, I'll go the route of we're doing all this the legal way. There's nothing illegal going on here, okay? But from a financial perspective, you want to do the right thing because if you don't, you're going to lose money, time, reputation, and all those things which could haunt you for a long time, like it did to me.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of things that I want to kick around. And again, this is not a complete list, but it's a start of things to look at.
Yeah.
So, and in no random order, or in random order, I should say. Um, One of the first things is what is your passion? What do you really want to do? And again, I stress, what do you really want to do? So if Charles came to me and said, I want you to open a hot dog stand, nothing wrong with that. People make a lot of money in hot dog stands, but that's not what I want to do. So why would I spend time, money, energy, and all those things doing something I don't want to do?
Yeah.
And it's important that you have that passion. And in addition to the passion, you need the skills because passion could wear off. Hey, it's a great idea. It wears off a month, 3 months, 6 months later. Then what do you do? So you have to have the skills to continue taking you through whatever it is that you're doing, product, service, or anything else that's out there.
Yeah. And I want to add to that real fast.
Sure.
Over the past 24 years now,
Mhm.
I have been pushed in the direction I'm in now with customer service and what I'm doing. Every time I try to stray away and do something different, here I am right back. And my passion, you feel it in here. You know it. You know with your fiber, all your being that
Mhm.
you should be doing something. And here we are.
Correct.
Yeah.
And you know it's a passion when you go to sleep at night and you can't sleep because you're
Yeah.
thinking about what I have to do the next day, who I have to talk to, what are my goals, dreams, what do I need to do?
What
It's
I forget to do
not
today.
what I didn't do today.
What I didn't do
And it's
today.
and it's not good enough to, or not good enough. You can't turn it off.
Yeah.
You go to work with a company. Again, you go in at 9, you do your job, you leave at 5, you go home, and you're just like, what did I just do for the last 8 hours? Because you're thinking about the family, the vacation, the whatever you're thinking about. But if it's yours, it's nonstop. And that's okay. That's what's supposed to happen because it's yours and you build it and mold it your way. That's one of the advantages of being an entrepreneur. You
Yeah.
build it your way. So you got the passion, you have the skills. Now, when it comes to skills, you could be the best in, I don't know, grilling hot dogs in a stand. I'm just going to stay with that example. But what else do you know? Do you know enough how to find the right stand, how to price it out, what price to charge, is the right location? You may know one thing very well, but if you have the ability financially, hire, at least temporarily, those skills you don't have to help you down that success path
Yeah.
because you don't have the skills or the time to do this 24/7.
Yeah. And that raises a good point, right? Because you really should make a list of things that your business needs and the things that need to get done. Because the only way you're going to know if you can do it or not is you make a list of the things that need to be done. And if you don't understand those, you need to pull in some help because that's a point you're going to fail if you don't really, you know, focus on what needs to be done and what you are good at, what you're not good at. Correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, based on that, you sparked a little idea, which I did not have on my list. Thank you.
You're welcome.
If you want to open up some business, one of the things to do early on here is there a way that you can either work in that field or consult or do a free internship in that field for a month, 2 months, 3 months? Find out hands on what it takes to do it, what it takes to be successful. Have that list, as Charles just said, have that list. What does it take every day?
Yeah.
What do you have to get done? And the only way you're really going to know that is to be hands on with somebody else. Now,
Yeah.
little caveat.
Yeah. And that brings up an interesting point too. It's like if you think about it, with entrepreneurship, right? Or solopreneurship, you kind of go by the seat of your pants because one day you think you got it, and then the next day, well, I got to shift gears and go this way. Oh, wait a minute, I can't do it that way. You got to do it
Yep.
this way.
Yep.
It's a constant evolving process when you are working for yourself.
Absolutely. You never arrive. There's always new things to do, new things to
Yeah.
learn, new things. So I'll give you a little caveat. If you're going to work a month, 3 months, whatever it is with somebody else, might be an idea not to tell them that you're going to open the same thing they're doing. So if you want to open a hot dog cart, and they already have one on the next block, don't tell them you want to do the same thing because they're not going to help you. So just tell them you need money. You're doing a project for school. Do something so you can get all that knowledge from them. But might not be an idea to tell them you want to be their direct, close competitor. Just a thought to throw it out there.
Yeah.
Um, Another thing to think about is what are your goals, short and long term? Do you want to and again, I'm just going to stick with the hot dog cart. Do you want to open up one on one street corner and stay there forever? Do you want to open up one, stay, build it to a certain level and sell it? Do you want to open up the one, get experience, and open up a second, third, fourth, fifth, and build an empire? What are your goals? Because the goals will help dictate how you operate, how much money you need, how much time you need, the locations, the customer base, all that stuff comes into play. So what are your long-term goals? And you
Right.
kind of need to really think about that. Now they can change, but you need at
And they
least
will, right?
something.
And, and they will, right? They will change.
Yeah, yeah,
That's what happens, with a business like this.
right. Absolutely. There is no 100% guaranteed on anything. Things change. As you own a business, as Charles said before, things change, sometimes hourly, daily, weekly. Be flexible, because if you find something that's not working, the faster you change it, the better off you're going to be. Again, it's time and money, which time you can't get back, money you can, but it's going to take a while. So
Right.
do it right, as right as you can early on. Um, Another thing that is important, you may have the greatest idea to do something, but is there a market for it?
Yeah.
I may sit there and say, I have this new, I don't know if you can see it, I have this newfangled pen. There you go.
There it is.
This
Newfangled
newfangled
pen.
pen. It's the greatest thing since sliced bread. But is there a market? Will somebody buy it?
Right.
I, so you have to do the research. And again, do the research before you spend any money doing anything else. Because
Yeah.
again, if nobody wants it, find something else. And the other thing to that is, let's say you find out that there is a market for this type of pen, and that's great. Now the question is, what does the pen cost to make, and what can you sell it for? Because if this particular pen costs $4 to make, but I can't sell it for more than $3, not something I want to do, because that means I'm going to lose $1 every time I sell a pen. Not a good business model. So, so that's, again, is there a market? What's it going to cost to make fully loaded cost? The materials, the shipping, your salary, any
Right.
equipment, rent, the full, all expenses in. What does it cost and what can you sell it for? Extremely important. Another thing to think about is, how do you pay for that business? Do you have your own money? Do you finance it? Do you have investors? Now, again, I'll go back to my experience. When I opened my business in January of 13, not knowing any better, I said, I'm going to pay for it in full. Now, this is 11 years ago. I didn't know any better. And for reasons I won't get into, I came into a lot of money. And I took that whole chunk of money and paid for the business. Hindsight says I should have paid down 20% and financed the 80%. That 80% would have been in the bank to help me pay for marketing, salaries, rent, utilities, cost of product. It would
Hmm.
have given me a lot of money that I could have used to continue to build the business. But by paying the entire thing up front, I had just that little bit left. And in the first 6 months, when I dropped $50,000 in marketing, not understanding what that meant, but shelling out the money, and I got a zero return. At that point, after 6 months, I was broke because
Yeah.
I used all my money or 80, well, all the money instead of just 20% up front. So again, do you want to finance, pay for it yourself, or have an investor? Now, investors are good and bad. They're good because they can give you the money to help you get started. The bad side is be careful how much of your business they want for that
Hmm.
money they're giving you.
Yeah.
You may be willing to give up 10%, 20%, 30% of your business. They may want 51%. And you're going to say, you know what? That's okay because I need the money to get started. But what that
And that's a great point to make too, right? Is don't get desperate with this, right? Because
don't get desperate.
when you right, because when you love, you got passion, you want to make your
Mhm.
business, and you got people coming at you saying, "Hey, I can give you $100,000, but I only want 60% of your business." All right, I could just live off of 40%. The next thing you know, they're the ones that are controlling your business.
Right. That's exactly what I was going to say. So thank you for the segue in. If that person or persons that are investing in your business own 50.1%, they have the majority of your business. So
You
they'll
got it.
give you the money. But when you start to make it big and all this money's rolling in, one day you're going to get a letter that says, I'm buying you out because they
Yeah,
own the majority of the business. And you have absolutely zero to say because you gave them up front. So
and I
if
know what you're
you,
going to say now. You're going to talk about, let's
so
talk about what we do to not have that happen.
well, what I was, yeah. So what I was, you must be reading my mind, and that's a scary thing. Okay. But if you do this investing, make sure you have an attorney. Yes, it will cost a little bit of money, but you're considering a little bit of money versus giving up your business, your
Yeah,
dreams, your down payment, everything. Be very careful that you protect yourself because nobody cares about you more than you do.
you.
That's why we're having this conversation right now to help you protect you.
Yeah.
Um, the other thing that I want to talk about that's on my list, and we can talk more. Um, Something I did not do, but should have done, is to set up a corporation. Now, and there's multiple types of corporations. So contact your CPA, figure out the best type for you. The reason you want a corporation is it separates you from the corporation legally and financially. So if something happens and somebody trips in your location and they sue you, or well, they're not suing you, they're suing the corporation. But because you're two separate entities, if the corporation has no assets, no money, they're getting nothing because they cannot come after you personally.
Right.
If there's a big loss in the business, and it could be the first year or two, they're not coming after you financially. It's against the corporation. So again, different types of corporations, ask your CPA, but make sure they're separate so that if something does go wrong, you're protected. And again, we're here for you.
Yeah.
That's my list of things. Again, it is not an all inclusive list, but
Right.
that's my list of things to start to look at when thinking about opening a business.
Right. I want to circle back to one little thing that you talked about
Sure.
with the hot dog stand when you said you should work in a hot dog stand so you can understand how it works
Hmm.
and get the understanding of it. Well, my little plug for that is just hire a QAC team to send someone in undercover to get all the information and details you need about that business.
You know, I- my brain is not functioning. Is that a graceful way of saying I messed up? Um,
Not at all.
yes, it
That was
is.
my plug to say I want to promote myself on my own show on Friday at 4 to say, look, Steve, I love your idea. I love the fact that you want to help people.
Hmm.
Let's give them a little bit leeway here and say, you don't have to do it yourself on this part. Q.A.C team can help you with that.
Yep. Yep. And
Yeah.
I will tell you, um, before we end this session in the whatever, whenever we end the session, I saw today a short clip that Charles created for recently. In fact, created it. I saw it today, so it's recent, of a business that he visited, took some videos, and it's short, but again, I saw the short clip, not the full version, of he went into a business and started to pan around of all the things that are there. So he is the person with the Q.A.C team to go in to a competitor without them knowing it and videotaping um, everything that's there, the physical location, the inventory, how many people, the way the shop is set up, all types of things, so that you can then have a good idea of what a successful business should look like. Now, obviously, what you do is up to you, but if some business is successful, it kind of makes sense to mirror and make it your own taste, but to mirror some of the things that it has to give you that success factor sooner.
Yeah, appreciate that. Thank you, Steve. And good thing you brought up was we do a lot of competitive. We compare, business to business. Take a pizza shop, you go visit your competitor's pizza shop, and you do your report, and you get the data on how they're doing things versus what you're doing, and you can compare what they're doing versus you to see how you could improve if they're doing something better than you, not as good as you. Data, 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 info, info, info.
It is.
Yeah,
Data is a very important thing. Always
yeah,
have data. Never make decisions on the fly.
yeah.
Some of them could be successful, but if they're not, it could cost you money, time, reputation, customers. So look at the good, look at the bad before you get started, and then get an idea how you want to shape yours. Because again, it's
Absolutely.
yours.
Absolutely. And something I want to mention probably in a different episode we can talk about, but I had that very thing happen to me. I was very passionate about an idea, got all the okay, cost me a lot of money, and a big corporation stole it.
Oh,
Nothing I can
oh,
do about it. Nothing I can do about it. On. I still have my product, but it's probably rendered useless right now.
right.
And we'll talk about that in another episode.
We can talk, absolutely, we can talk about that because anything we can share with our audience to help them be more successful or put them on the path to being more successful. Um, I keep using the term shorten that learning curve. Use the
Yeah.
experience that Charles and I have from years of, and again, separate experiences, but we came together again to help you. That's why we're
Yeah.
here.
And the good thing about that, I learned two very well. I learned a lot of valuable lessons from that. But the two things that stick out to me that I learned from that is one, what I was weak at, and
Mhm.
two is the fact that that was not my passion. I wanted to do it. I enjoyed it, but I am where I am because things had shifted to put me where I am today. Two big valuable lessons,
Very
you know?
valuable lessons.
Yeah.
I worked in corporate for 32 years in IT. It's a long time, and I
Yeah.
liked what I was doing, but the travel became much more than I was willing to do, which was 50% or more. In some months, I traveled 2 to 2+ weeks overseas. Nothing wrong going overseas, but it's the 2+ weeks. And after a certain amount of time, and then I had some issues with my wife, health wise. So it became a challenge, but I had to keep traveling for the job.
Yeah.
And it was a mistake.
Corporations can't stop. Yeah,
Nope,
it's a
nope,
corporation.
nope. And it was
Yep.
exactly, and it was a
Yep.
mistake. And if I could go back, which I can't, I would have done something different.
Yeah.
That's why we keep saying, look first. What's your passion first? Is there a market first? Um, do you have the financing first? Do a lot of that stuff up front. If you have the financing available, there are people that specialize in exactly what we're talking about. We're not those people, but there are people out there who have that specific skill set that will sit down with you and walk you through and ask you all these questions.
Yeah.
And the key is you got to be honest in your answers.
You know what? That's a great. I'm glad you said that because I was just about to mention about the whole passion thing, right? If you don't love what you do, or if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. But
Mm,
you really got to love it because you can't get 6 months, a year down the line in this thing, put 20, $30,000 into a business and go, I don't really want to do this anymore.
no.
You have to make a decision. You have to love it. It's a love-hate relationship, right?
Mhm.
Nobody loves to work in their business. They want to work on it. But
Right,
sometimes you got to work in it till you can work on it. That's the goal to get to. So
right.
that passion will really push you through those hard times to get
Mhm.
through that, knowing that this is what I love to do. Yes, it's tough right now, but I can make it because I love what I do.
Right. And for those who may or may not be familiar with the work in your business or work on your business, working in is the day-to-day grind. You're doing sales, you're doing marketing, you're doing payroll, you're servicing your clients, you're answering the phone. That's working in. Working on the business is going out to generate revenue, new clients, new whatever that takes. When you're first starting out, you're doing it all. So you really need to be careful of how much time you spend in each activity because you can get the customer and they can say, yes, I want 10 of this product from you. Who's going to do and create the 10 that they just ordered? That's you.
That's me.
So that's me. So you really need to be careful and how to balance. And
Yeah, it's true.
it's not easy. That's why
It's
you
not.
need to really think it through. Will you or do you have people who are willing to help you part-time? Because again, if you part-time, you may not have to pay medical benefits, so you do part-time. Um, Maybe you can have people that you can pay as a consultant, so you're not even paying the taxes. They pay the taxes. But if you get some people part-time to help you out until you get to that point, that may be an option as well.
Yeah. Love it. Good stuff.
Yeah.
As always.
So that's my thing for today. And as always, it is Friday at 4 somewhere.
It's 4 o'clock somewhere.
4 o'clock somewhere. I was gonna say
I love
Friday,
it.
but it's well, yeah, but it's 4 o'clock somewhere.
4 o'clock somewhere.
Um,
Uh, last
we
thought, Steve. What you got?
So the last thought, we welcome your ideas, your opinions. What would you like us to address for you? Again, this is us helping you. This, as you've already seen in the last bunch of episodes, there is zero sales pitch here. This is all about how we can help you shorten the curve, give you some ideas maybe you didn't think about before or know about before. That's what it's here for. It's our years of experience to help you. So help
Yeah.
us help you and tell us what you think.
Yeah. And, be a guest on our show,
Yeah.
QACteam.com and register, sign up, join us. We'll send you the
Yeah.
link and come in and talk with us. Absolutely.
So just in case you missed that, it's QACteam.com.
QACteam.com.
There you go. And let us know what you think. Be a guest. Um, no cost. You can see it's very laid back. We're on here less than 30 minutes. be a guest, give us your opinion. We're straightforward, we're honest, we don't hold anything back. We want to help you. That's why we're here.
Absolutely. Steve, again, thank you so much for coming on. Enjoy the rest of your day. Have
You
a great
too.
weekend.
Thank you, Charles. You too.
Thank
Have a
you.
great one.